Welcome to the Edge of NFT podcast with your hosts, Jeff Kelly, Ethan Janney, and Josh Krieger. We aim to bring you not only the top 1% of what's going on with NFTs today, but what will stand the test of time. We explore the nuts and bolts and the business side, but also the human element of how NFTs are changing the way we interact with the things that we love. This podcast is for the futurists and dreamers, the disruptors and creators, the fans and connectors, and the makers and doers that are pumped about this ecosystem and driving where it goes next. What do you say we dive into some hot topics?
Let's dive in. Let's dive deep. All right. NFT game steals artwork, gets called out, deletes account. Okay. Epic Hero Battles, a blockchain-based game on the Ethereum network. It was trying to sell 10,000 NFTs that consisted of a randomly generated hero and their pet, which could then be put into battle to win either prizes or more NFTs. They not sure how randomly generated they would have been, though, because despite the well-worn and by September 2021 shown to be entirely BS claim that NFTs are all about artists and ownership of their work, for its main page, the game's creator decided to just straight up steal a piece of key art from indie game Wildfire, which came out just last year and is pretty damn good. Okay, well, on topic, hot topic, huh?
Yeah, it's right. They stole the data. It can happen like relatively easily right now, and if you don't look into it, you're not going to know what you're buying, right? I mean, that's the dang story there. It's crazy. And like, especially with these projects that their goal is to do well and to succeed and to sell a good number of these NFTs for a good price and for them to be resold and to grow a community. It's kind of wild to think that you would somehow get away with that, right? But we've seen this over and over again. It's bananas. I don't know.
Well, there's another aspect too, I think here, at first blush, you might think, okay, well, blockchain is almost like a form of copyright, right? And so if it's on the blockchain, it's copyrighted, or it's got some sort of it's got that provenance, right? But it is important to remember there's maybe multiple blockchains, right? Or maybe something can happen on a blockchain and later somebody can mint the same thing and they can sell it to you, right? And you can think it's on the blockchain, so it must be the first one. No, you've got to take a look, right? You've got to look for yourself and see what's going on. So
I think you learned that from our guest today.
Yes, exactly.
Garbage in, garbage out is the
yes, but be a sleuth, figure it out.
Totally.
That's a bummer, but this is not the last time we're going to see that.
Yeah. Just one follow-up before we go to the next hot topic, Garrett. This could take a lot of time and attention, right? As we're discussing this, right? Do you have any advice for folks on just going about that? Is it about like finding the trusted source, finding the trusted chain? Is there more to it than that? In order to, because there's always a point of diminishing returns. Let's put it that way, right? So do you have any thoughts or comments or advice on like how much to invest your time and energy into this?
It is a pretty great paradox that you need these like centralized oracles of truth to keep you out of trouble. Definitely, especially in distributed technologies. I think having a centralized source of truth that can help keep you out of trouble is actually quite important. How much should people really have to know? I would actually lean on the side of you don't need to know too much. You just need to trust that the person you're doing business with knows what they're doing.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, be careful with your close relationships and partners.
But even on that topic, I like how many launches, and we've seen it time and again, right, with launches where you think you trust the folks doing it, but there's just a lot of that people don't know they don't know at this stage when they're launching new projects, new collections. Like if we're talking about just like the collectible realm, some of the most popular projects, like even over the last couple of weeks when they're launched, it's just time and again we see this lapse in process. So individual buyers end up scooping up 1,000 of the 10,000 NFTs that came out and messing with the market. And it's I think there's some serious learning still to be had, even among those that are really well qualified to launch these things. They just don't know what they don't know in some cases.
Let's hit the next hot topic here. Great points, Jeff. Steve Cohen-backed NFT platform closes Series A at a $333 million valuation. Let's be careful when that doubles, of course, then people will start to get a little bit superstitious. But anyways, riding the wave of interest in the market for NFTs, a startup with support from hedge fund mogul Steve Cohen has closed $55 million Series A, founded by former DRW trader Zach Brook and licensing expert Trevor George. Recur is one of a growing number of startups operating in the NFT market where firms like Dapper Labs and OpenSea have achieved unicorn status. All right, this is a very interesting new example of, I feel like actually very early on in the podcast, we had a lot of fundraising announcements. And back then, within say the first 10 episodes, 5 episodes, now we're a seasoned veterans just 5 or 6 months later. But, it was astounding to hear that this much was raised. Or I remember the comment of, we had an article about how much was raised or what the valuations were. And Jeff made the comment, well, that really wasn't much more than the people that just sold. And now we're certainly getting into the territory where the businesses are putting some serious numbers on the table.
Totally. And in this case, we're talking about they're going to start with the Pac-12, which is, a really big bridge into the mainstream, which is what you see with a lot of these bigger raises, is this sort of effort to like move into the mainstream. I thought another interesting quote related to our topic today is, we see a future where the standard for a decentralized recurring royalty is embedded, giving the creator due credit as assets are exchanged over and over again. So, great to see other folks, Garrett, concerned with the same sort of things that you're concerned with.
Certainly. Well, there's that XKCD comic about all the USB, different charging. We have 13 standards. Now we'll have the 14th standard. Right? I mean, that's the whole point of a universal royalty standard. Everybody wants their own, whereas maybe just go with the official Ethereum one and then be done with it.
Yeah, it would seem to make, there's so many people focused on it as well and improving, the protocols there. It would seem to make sense, but people are always going to try, right? They're going to keep trying, and there won't be just one winner, I guess, right? There will always be multiple. It'd be nice to have a consistent standard that people agree on them.
Should we move on to the next hot topic?
Yeah, let's do it.
So this hot topic is something new that we're doing here, a special featured hot topic. So it's going to be kind of fun, and we'll get you in on the conversation, Garrett. So this is a special hot topic on Boho Bones with Andy Crosby of bohobones.com. I'll give you a little bit about Andy. Originally hailing from Australia with an innate talent for all things music, Andy came to the US for a university scholarship in Oregon. After graduation, he moved to LA briefly, then set up for New York to join a crowdsourced live streaming news startup that would be the predecessor to the Citizen app we know today. After the hustle and bustle of the city life in the Big Apple, Andy set out for greener pastures in the mountains of Colorado and built up a mountain retreat for his wife and toddler son. Boho Bones is the first phase of NFT and metaverse experiential projects launched by Swim alongside their Green Chain network. And Boho Bones comes complete with 150 unique instrumental songs for token holders to remix, sample, or reproduce as they see fit. 12,345, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you read it out, Boho Bones tokens will be issued, and token holders will have complete commercial rights to a library of 150 original songs. Minting cost will be 0.08 ETH each. So let's chat about this a little bit, and welcome Andy. How you doing, Andy?
Very good. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me on the show, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Andy and I met a few weeks ago at a in real life NFT event, and you know, when I mentioned Edge of NFT, is like, well, we're doing something totally on the edge. And I have to say, I have to agree in terms of giving over those commercial rights and adding so much unique music. It's a really cool project, and we're excited to have you on the show.
Yeah, I mean, there's just been a great attraction to this project because we're just getting the community to create, and we're about to launch our first remix comp with the community, and you know, early adopters will get access to special VIP producer packs on top of that. So it's sort of ever-growing library.
There you go. What was your personal inspiration and experience to create this project, and how does Boho Bones aim to reshape the music industry?
I'd been signed to Sony sort of back in 2012 with a band, and then we had an A&R guy who'd signed us pass away, and the project kind of got shelved, and all these rights got shelved just because they decided to move on with other stuff. And I thought, you know, that's kind of a waste of hard work. It'd be great to give the, you know, the rights back to creators. So that's what we've sort of done here, is open those doors. They can have all the commercial rights. It's written in the first paragraph of our Solidity contract. And then if they make over $25,000 US, we just ask them to donate 20% back to the community wallet for Boho Bones, so we can give out additional scholarships, grants, you know, artist grants, you know, music scholarships, and just keep the community thriving and creating.
So explain to our listeners, like, how is Boho Bones so different from other, you know, but similar NFT projects? And like specifically like commercial rights transfer, like how does all that work? What makes this so different and special?
So, you know, you see a lot of the projects, they might just be a JPEG, and it's the generative JPEG. You know, we've gone and added the extra layer of putting in a unique audio track that then they can go and release on Spotify and own the commercial rights and monetize, and, you know, not have anyone sort of take any of the share. It's theirs, you know, and they can collaborate with the community. And then there's just, we ask just if they make, you know, if they go and make $1 million, they make a donation back to the community wallet, just to keep the community thriving as well.
And so for folks that don't really know how the smart contract works when it comes to commercial rights, like how is that baked in? How do you know that you've got something that's legitimate as a buyer of one of these NFTs?
So, I mean, that's all stored on the blockchain, and then we've actually created all the loops ourselves. So, you know, we've registered those loops and then given those rights to the actual community holders. So, I mean, that's sort of a first of a kind on the NFT side of the blockchain. And also we're looking at doing partnerships with, you know, certain artists who are well known, and festivals to do sort of metaverse and IRL like collaborations with, you know, whether it be big artists or DJs. I mean, that's all stuff in our roadmap and pipeline. I can't go into too much detail, but part of the reason for moving out to Los Angeles from Colorado was to just to secure some of those options. And then, you know, Boho holders will have exclusive rights to certain festival events, or some of our remix winners may get the opportunity to play on stage at a major festival.
That's really cool. Garrett, you're into collectibles. Has music crossed your path?
Yes, absolutely. If we unlock video, we can also, of course, unlock audio, or really any combination of the two. I was curious, Andy, so it's 0.08 Ethereum to do it. Do you have any plans to try to make it at a little bit lower price point? It seems like maybe $300 or so might be a little bit tough for maybe some newcomers in the space.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's going to be lots of giveaways, and if we get to a point where we see sort of adoption slow, we might even pause the contract, or you know, give some back to the original holders. But you know, at this stage, our main focus was really getting a flawless smart contract and reveal process, and just having it just beautiful there, and then pushing towards marketing, because it wasn't sort of a pump and dump shell or anything for us. This is a team that's got a long roadmap and really wants to see this work over like years to come. So, I mean, for us, it was making sure, you know, that technology in the reveal process was, and the Solidity contract was just airtight. And, you know, we did a great job with that and the reveals and keeping them updated. And now this week's the big sort of marketing week where the team sort of shifted focus to there. It's a pretty small team, and, you know, we sort of all sort of shared bits and pieces of what has to get done. So everyone sort of shifted to that marketing mode this week. And then look, we'll get to next Sunday and we'll make a call. But I think we're sort of at the tipping point where we could see big adoption real fast, and I think we're ready for that too.
And there is a 25% discount thanks to Ethereum this week compared to last week too.
Yeah,
that's easy enough.
Well, it was 350 Gwei this morning, so just watch out.
Yeah, right. Gas is no joke.
I think we launched on the toughest week possible. I mean, it was a public holiday weekend, and I mean, gas at sometimes to mint 2 or 3 tokens was $7,000. And today, thank goodness, it's calmed down. You can mint one for $20 Ethereum, value USD.
Certainly. Well,
yeah,
you can take that same code and deploy it to Matic or some of these other places for like a penny.
Yeah, we're looking at doing that, deploying it on cross chain, but still having the main metadata housed on Ethereum. I think it's all stuff. It's everyone's growing in the space and learning quick, and I like the authenticity of the ETH chain, but I think some of those others are just bringing the transactional fee down, and we're gonna try and accommodate everyone where we can.
Yeah, I was really excited to kind of look through the catalog a couple days ago. Yeah, I'm a musician. I went to school for it, have quite a background in it as you do. And it's really great to see somebody blazing the trails. It's fun to see these kind of loopable, musical experiences. It's fun to see the variety of them as well. I want to ask you a question maybe about the community, but first I want to ask you how did you approach putting together so many musical samples and having them all be interesting and have a variety and not have total duds? Is that something that you can even explain? How does that work out?
We've got sort of a couple of musicians and producers on the team, and it was everyone was just sort of writing together, and I've also mixed and mastered records with some major labels before, so I got those final copies and got through that. We've also now got some partnerships with some, actually automated cloud mastering that we'll do in a Web3 format in the metaverse and that sort of thing. But I don't want to get too deep into the roadmap. But we also want community creating samples and having a community, sound library in that access for token holders. And then, we're talking to lots of big artists who will come in and, hopefully do a collab, a producer pack, a remix comp.
Yeah.
And really, really grow the community and engage them that way.
Yeah, that could be awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. And we, speaking of growing the community, we shared what you're up to with AJ Jackson, Saint Motel, and Scott Page, formerly Pink Floyd, some of our friends, and they're pumped to chat with you more and learn more about what you're doing.
Yeah, and I mean, we're blown away to be talking to guys like that. I mean, I was saying I've got Saint Motel on on one of my running playlists, and I mean, Pink Floyd just has blown me away since I was listening to music as a kid. So I mean, it's incredible, this NFT space, and all these incredible artists are just attracted to it. And I mean, it's just the start, and I think it's really about just giving utility back and rights back to creators, and having a share model where you can have celebrities come in, or whether it be metaverse and in real life festival mashups. I mean, there's so much we're about to move into, I think.
Yeah, man. One of the well, actually our intro music, actually Saint Motel, we use Move for our intro music to the podcast. So it took some finagling, but they were very generous in giving us those rights. It also reminded me of Jack Antonoff released a bunch of samples and loops and distributed those to his community and said basically, oh, you could just feel free to use it in whatever you want, right? There's just a statement from him, but there's nothing baked in to give those rights, right? There's no actual contract for using it. At some point, one of his attorneys could get a wild hair up their ass and say, no, you can't actually use that just because Jack said it doesn't give you the rights. And so what you're doing here, the solution here, it's pretty awesome. And yeah, those loops are sick, man. I really enjoyed listening to those.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it's really just giving the rights over to the community wallet, which then we sort of fund off the contract. And if we get other artists that want to be involved, it's just a way to grow the team and community and just have cool creative new tunes coming out as well, I think.
Super cool. And I heard a rumor that the first tattoo someone recently got upon moving from Colorado to California on his inner forearm might have something to do with what you're doing.
He got it on his chest. He got one of the a guy called Cosimo. He lives in Mexico, and he caught a bus 12 hours to Chihuahua, Mexico, to get one of our first skulls that we'd created tattooed on his chest. So you can check it out on Twitter. Firehead Cosimo is his Twitter name, and he got this incredible boho tattooed on his chest. He's just a true day one community supporter and boho fan. That's
super dope, man. That's cool. Wow. Do you guys have that? Like, we need like an image of that. I know it would be a static, or maybe a video with like some of the music in the background or something like that. That needs to live in NFT land, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I think it should be NFT'd, actually. We should make a special one with his tattoo and some music on it, and maybe airdrop it to the first token holders.
There we go. Love it.
Just to follow up there, we talked a little bit about community, and we know that you focused a lot on thoughtfully developing the community as opposed to, whatever you could sell out right away on this type of a project. Can you tell us a little bit about your thought process on there and like kind of how you execute on that?
Yeah. So, I think it's just keeping the message consistent and each week giving a little more to the early adopters, whether it be through airdrops or competitions or special packs for them, and just continually executing on our roadmap on time and keeping everyone updated on that. You see a lot of projects in the space and they promise the world, and then after they sell out, you just don't hear from them again. It's like a complete rug pull. So look, it'd be great to sell out on day one, but that wasn't our plan. The plan was really just to test, make sure we had a bulletproof contract and reveal process, and then really grow into the marketing after that, which is sort of the pivot here. But I think, we've got to keep everyone engaged. We can't have people panicking and quickly selling on OpenSea. So it's just communicating with them. And I leave my DMs open for my Twitter account for bohobones.eth for, the guys in the community to reach out. I send some of the guys I see really grinding and reposting on Twitter and stuff and sharing their bones. I send them, from my personal ones that I've minted tokens and stuff like that. And, it's just keeping the doors always open, and just the community know that they can reach out and ask questions and have them updated on the roadmap and competitions weekly, daily. Just keep them.
Totally. I'm sure, Garrett, you've learned quite a bit about community building with Rare, and you can relate to some of these challenges and that Andy mentioned.
Absolutely. Well, we are taking a bit of a sort of software as a service white labeling type approach, where we're giving these tools to people who can hopefully make their own communities with them. But yes, absolutely, that is totally the difference between something that's successful and something that's not. You've seen it with the art blocks and with all of these other projects. If there's not some kind of interesting, compelling gamification reason to come back over and over again, people aren't. I think there's this like existing paradigm of, I'm going to take an image and then just make an NFT out of it. That absolutely isn't what Boho Bones is doing. Is super awesome. I hadn't heard about it until now, but doing like loops and samples that do generative new music. That's absolutely the entire ethos, I think, of the NFT space. Is we don't want existing IP. I don't know if you've seen, like, I don't know, I haven't seen a bunch of like Marvel IP trade for a bunch of money. It's right. It's Bored Ape Yacht Club and Pudgy Penguins, and right. That it's great. I think it's an active kind of like rejection of the previous IP paradigm. So I am all for new stuff.
Yeah. This is fun. This is a little experiment, bringing these two different topics together, and thanks for experimenting with us, as is the nature of the space. Folks can go to Boho Bones' website, which Jeff mentioned earlier, bohobones.com, and we are going to do this is like a double giveaway show, so this is exciting.
Look out, folks.
So Andy, you've got 5 Boho Bones I think we're going to be giving away. Is that correct? That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, we're giving away 5. Very excited.
So look out, folks. If you're excited about what these guys have cooking, you'll have a chance to sort of join the community firsthand through Edge of NFT. Thanks, Andy, for joining us for the special Hot Topic segment, and wish you the best with your project.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on, and cheers, Garrett, as well. We're big fans of Raid, and we'll do something together in the future, hopefully.
Absolutely, Andy. Looking forward to it.
Thanks so much, Andy. Yeah.
And,